So.
Wow. Like that, Sam? Listen, guys, first of all, let's drop some love in the chat. Sam, how are we feeling, Sam?
Good. Jaymie, this is, I want to say thank you to, as a matter of fact, everybody drop love in the chat for Studio at Broad. This is my brother here for over 20 years. I'm in his studio right now, and he is dealing with some health conditions right now, and his chest is bothering him. And he's been sitting here through this whole time trying to stretch and trying to work his chest out and fighting through it just so we can be here together. So I just want to thank him right now.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you so very much, everything that you do behind the scenes in support. Thank you. Many prayers go out to you. Sam. Sam. I'm glad that you left some room at the end of this so we can just highlight you even further. Do you guys know how difficult it was for me to get this gifted man right here to step from behind the scenes and present? So humble with all of this power. Sam, can you share and enlighten the community of how we went about, securing this session and how you were, what did you have to do behind the scenes to get ready for it, and how is that going to help you moving forward, and just everything about the way we came to the stage together today? Because
yes,
not done this normally.
Well, the first thing that was done was I was told that I was part of the conference, and then I saw a flyer, and then I was asked, "You don't mind doing this, do you?" And I said, "Well, I guess not." It's very difficult because I want to say something else. Like, we're all fighting for something, and it's worth it. Like, if it really hurts you and it pains you and you keep going, it's worth it. See, myself, I tell you honestly, I'm not the superhero of my story. I believe that my wife Aaliyah is, because I work 2 jobs. I work day and I work night, and I work 7 days a week. And both jobs are demanding. I have to stand up at both jobs, and I have to deal with the community at both jobs. So I don't have much time for myself. And my wife, she takes care of my 2 wonderful children, Roman and Josiah. Hey guys, my wife takes care of them. And she gives me the great fortune to be able to take whatever little time we have left to carve out that for my dreams, so that way it can make something for us. And so it's very difficult. I would literally try to put this talk together in the last hour at each job and try to jot something down. And I would focus on not doing nothing else the last hour of that day, and I would try to write a note. And then I would go to the night job. And then the last hour at the night job, I would try to write another note. And then once I got done writing all the notes, I then took my speech to a gentleman that actually used to live in the shelter. See, I work at a homeless shelter at night, and one of the gentlemen that was in there, his name is Lorenzo Chalmers. And Lorenzo Chalmers has a podcast that he started after he got out of the shelter. And this gentleman that the world casted out helped me orchestrate my talk. And after I got done everything that I needed, I took it to Lorenzo, and Lorenzo said, "Everything sounds good, but you can get rid of that first part." And that was hard, because that was just hard. But I got rid of it, and everything flowed much greater than once I did that. And once we got to that point, and I knew what I needed to say, I then didn't have any time, because at some point I needed to sleep. At some point I needed to see my family. And I'm also very big and active at my church, so there was literally no time. So I then said, hey, I went to work and I locked myself in a room, and I recorded myself saying the first few parts of the speech to be bullet points. And then I gave it to Studio at Broad, and Studio at Broad took it and they put music behind it to help me remember it. And they gave it back to me, and I would use it before I went to bed, and I would try to get the bullet points down. Once I had the bullet points down, I wasn't able to worry about it, because I literally didn't have the mental space or fortitude to try to do it, because I'm just up so much. But the time that I have left, I can truly say that right now we are at the cusp of me being able to walk away from one of my jobs and to pursue being this entrepreneur, even in a greater state. And my wife is almost at the point where she's about to get her first degree, and she's gonna be able to walk down the aisle and be the first one in her family to do it. And so we've both been sacrificing for such a long time that it's just showed up at a great time in my life. And so I just thank you so much, Jaymie, for everything that you did, because this is the biggest stage that I've ever been able to be a part of. So I'm always behind the scenes for you. I put my business that what people would say on the back burner, and people would say, why are you working so hard for Bricklayers? Why are you always wearing these shirts? You don't even wear your own stuff, and why this and why that? And I was like, well, it's about the mission, isn't it? Like my whole business, my whole thing is to help other people build. So instead of trying to build up social media so people can see I'm building, why don't I just do what the job is? And the job is to help people, so why don't I just help someone? And I helped someone, and that person that I helped, named Jaymie Jordan, one day showed me her blue binder. And if you was at the first conference, you would have saw how important the blue binder is. And she opened it up one day and said, Sam, thank you for everything that you're doing for me. I haven't forgotten about you, and I want to show you something. And she opened up the blue binder, and in that blue binder, it said my company's name in it. And there was a whole page for me. So I never put away my business. I never stopped doing what I was supposed to do. I just didn't let the world see that I was actually doing the work. And when you actually do the work, great things happen for you.
Sam is always trying to make me cry, y'all. Always. I guess I want to take this time to just publicly honor and thank you. And I hope you guys are able to just listen to what he said and find so much inspiration in that. I do know how busy you are, Sam, and I also know where you're going, right? So I knew that this would be a perfect way to push you. And you were flawless. You are so made for this. And I'm just honored to be even a tiny, like Sarah Fontenot said one time to me, it's just an honor to be a tiny footprint in somebody's journey. So I'm just honored to be a tiny footprint in your walk. We're doing this thing together. Aaliyah, we're grateful for you. Shout out Roman and Josiah, Tone, everyone. So happy to have the whole family in the building. For the bricklayers in the building, which I think everyone here or most people are bricklayers, everything that you guys have been able to enjoy about the community, Sam has been behind the scenes as a giant part of that, as well as Vanity and just a lot of support behind the scenes. And Sam, I just want to truly, truly thank you. Before you go, please tell us about Diamond Line Results. Tell us about the Shiftcast. Tell us how to support you moving forward. I want you to speak at least to one of your goals out loud so we can all hold you accountable and uplift you. What's the next stage? What's the next step for you? Because you're completely made for this. You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. All right. So Diamond Line Results, it's a company I created. My slogan is where the focus is on you and not the glitz and glamour. And I just really wanted to highlight other people like us, bricklayers, people who the world has no idea what we're doing and have no idea how hard we're working. And I just wanted to take those people and highlight them and give them platforms, people who are actually serving and doing good for the community. I wanted to take every bit of platform that I had and give it to other people. So my platform is really all about giving back. I like to call myself the modern day Napoleon Hill. And what I mean by that is, I figured that if I sit with enough great people and I get them to give us information so we can give it to everybody else, then something good eventually might be able to come from me. And so that's what I want to do with Diamond Line Results. And the Shiftcast, it's all about shifting people's mindsets to be able to take them from I am limited to I am limitless. And it's a podcast that we're going to be launching with the help of Studio Abroad. I was saying like the next 60 days, you'll be able to see it. And we've been recording and we've been getting it together, but between COVID and between car accidents and between everything else, stuff has been giving us notes that says 3 o'clock is on. But we've been fighting back every step of the way because we've been doing our push-ups. So we're just here chugging along, and I believe the podcast is going to be wonderful. I believe that we're going to be able to help a lot of people with it. I wanted a way to be able to serve and give to people, but I know how busy my schedule is. So I figured if I had a podcast and a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is called Diamond Line Results, I figured that maybe if I could just do it this way, then I can still add value and still have the crazy schedule. And then one day, maybe if I had enough value, it could help take care of the schedule that I had. And so really, Diamond Line Results is all about giving back. A prime example of it, what is Diamond Line Results about? Or what have I been doing with bricklayers? And I'm gonna go back behind the scenes after this and keep working. When we get done that conference, we're gonna figure out how to edit it, figure out how to chop it up. And we're gonna figure out how to make sure the whole world knows what bricklayers is. And I think that's what everybody else here should be doing. Like if enough of us come together and say, how do we make bricklayers huge? Then bricklayers can only turn around and give back to us. Like I don't think we understand how great it is because be sitting here with somebody that literally talked almost the whole first day of their conference, and that wasn't planned. And a lot of times we don't know how great people or things are because we're too close to it. And I think that all of us bricklayers are too close, so we don't understand how great it is. But I promise you, we stay close to Jaymie and we hold on tight and we build up this thing. She can just turn around and give it back to us. My goal that I have a book that I wrote. When I was doing security, everybody around me, we had our posts, right? We had our posts and we would have little different things on our desk, and he said, you can't have your cell phone. So, okay, we put the cell phone back. Well, what's this? You can't have lotion. Okay, well, we'll put the lotion back. And it's like, yo, what is going on? And I watched all my coworkers around me complaining, they're doing this to us and they're doing that to us, and we don't like this and we don't like that. And I said, well, if I don't like it, it's no need to complain because this isn't my business, it's theirs. So what I'm gonna do is I took my security log and I wrote my first book inside my security log. And all of the managers would walk past and they would say, good job, Sam, keep it up. And I'd say, thank you. But they thought I was writing the law for security. I was writing my ticket for freedom. And I wrote my first book. But I never put the book out because I was afraid of something. What it was, I don't know. But I know speaking it publicly will now force me to have to put it out there. And Studio at Broad has been pushing me, Tony's been pushing me to put it out there. And this year, I believe, will be the year that it actually comes out. So this book that I wanted to write, I wound up actually writing 3 of them. And now it's that time for something to happen. So the goal is for me to be able to put out my first book before the end of this year.
Definitely. I'm going to be pushing you too. Sam, I'm really enjoying this opportunity, guys, to uplift Sam because he's so humble. Did you guys witness that speech? Okay, I know we felt the energy. You're completely a natural. You're very gifted. We need your words. We need your inspiration. We need your motivation. And I think that I want you to share a little bit insight into the nature of how we interact with each other, how you just push me off of the cliff. We have that inside joke. You just shove the baby bird out of the nest, right? And I turn around and push you right back. I'm getting so much joy out of this. I literally said, okay, Sam, you're speaking. Because I know it's in you. I knew that you could just show up and completely kill it. But what did you do? You went above and beyond. I didn't even know you were gonna, go to this extent to prepare and get the whole everything. But how important is that to have those people around you to just believe in you so much to just blindly push you to the next level?
I think it's everything. First of all, people say that you got to believe in yourself, and that's true. But here's the trick to it. Yes, you got to believe in yourself, but propaganda tells us that if you tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And if you're only around yourself and you start to tell yourself bad things, then eventually, because you're the only one there, you have to be the one to believe it. So even if you are believing those things, but you have people around you who are pushing you, then it just helps you out so much more. And so I'll work behind the scenes and I'll do things with bricklayers. And from the beginning, Jaymie would always tell me, hey, Sam, you're doing this. And I'm like, hey, no, I'm not. I'm behind the scenes. And she'd say, hey, Sam, you're doing that. And I say, no, I'm not. If people need to see you. And I would go back behind the scenes. And it's crazy because when you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, those doors that I've talked about being closed, you open them. And how I met Jaymie was one day I was told by someone, hey, you need to follow this person. And I said, okay. So I started paying attention to that person. And then when I did that, Jaymie reached out and said, hey, thank you so much for connecting with me. I'm about to launch this wonderful community called Bricklayers. Would you like to be a part of it? I'm having my first call. And I said, great. And here's what I did, still going above and beyond, right? A lot of people say, oh, you extra. But be extra because no one else is. I literally took my cell phone and I put a timer in my phone for the time that the call was supposed to start. And it said Jaymie Jordan's call. And I didn't even know who Jaymie Jordan was, but I just knew she believed in this Bricklayers thing enough. Let me pay attention to it. And she sent me a reminder and said, hey, are you going to be on the call? And I didn't respond. I just sent you a screenshot back that says 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bricklayers call. Yes, I was committed to going. And then I saw a need that was needed. I served it. See, so here's something behind the scenes. Jaymie will say, I'm going to do something at 7 o'clock. But she doesn't know if it's Eastern Standard Time or Central Standard Time. So when the thing has to happen, we'll do a meeting at Eastern time when it was supposed to be Central, and then vice versa. And so I said, okay, I believe in this person enough that I think I want to step in and help them. And I stopped doing things for myself, and I said, hey, you're farther along in your business than I am. It looks like you have the same dreams and visions I have. Why don't I take what I know and I help serve you? And so I just said, I know you don't really know me, but just give me your schedule and let me just make sure you make your meetings on time. And so every day Jaymie would text me, she would say, hey, these are my meetings, these are my times for the day. And I would call and check in with her 30 minutes before, 15 minutes before, an hour before, to make sure that the time slots were actually appropriate. And it helped out because sometimes a meeting was set for Eastern Standard Time and we wound up having it at Central Standard Time. And from that point, the relationship just kept growing. And Jaymie would say, and she didn't say it to me, she also said it to Vanny as well. And she would say, hey, I want to make sure that I pour back into your business. I want to make sure that I do something for you. And me and Vanny will both say the best thing you can do for us is keep building and let us keep working with you and let us keep helping you. And so we just kept pouring in and kept pouring in and not thinking about ourselves first, but thinking about Jaymie and see, like, networking is a transfer of trust. So because you trust Jaymie, and Jaymie introduced you to me, then rightfully you would trust me. And we knew that Jaymie wasn't doing everything for her. We knew that the stuff she was doing was for y'all. And so we knew that we needed to work hard for her because it wasn't her. It was actually all of y'all that we were working hard for. We've actually seen Jaymie take money that she received for payments and turn around and do something else with it versus feeding herself, versus clothing herself, versus paying her bills because she believed in the mission more than anything else. And so when you see her, she has her own light, she has her own camera, she has her own setup. She has a wonderful house she's in with a pond in the back. And she got all of those things because she put the mission first. She focused on what she was good at, she mastered that, and then things turned around and it worked out for her. So that's the reason why I was, wanting to connect and then building and focus on her. And I'm really just saying it to let y'all know that she really puts all of us bricklayers first.
Thank you, Sam. I hope that, honestly, guys, I truly have been blessed beyond measure with this kind of team and this kind of support. And I think it's interesting, and it's just a lesson, and lesson upon lesson upon lesson, because a lot of you guys, nobody really knew this, Sam, because you're so committed to just, again, behind the scenes, it's kind of, I guess it's relevant because of the title, but you're so committed to, like you said, just, wanting to make sure that I'm getting better and that Bricklayers is getting better. And I just want you guys to know that these things really happen, these types of connections really exist. And kind of like I said with Anthony Flynn, and what you're going to hear with Jamal in the next segment, all of this happened because I was just literally just simply following the purpose and doing what I felt I needed to be done. My first Bricklayers call, I didn't know if I was going to have 0 people on it. I think I ended up having 7. But back to my point, it doesn't matter how many people show up or what happens. These are the types of powerful events and connections and things that happen when you're just simply doing what it is that you know that you were called to do. Sam, thank you. And I have to continue to say thank you to Aaliyah as well. I've always had such a respect for you all as a family. And ever since that first moment, like what you just described, y'all, the level of support that I received from Sam, I thought he was a bot, because the first live that he attended, he found value in it, in the message, and he would come on every live. He showed me the alarm, right? And it was, I'm just gonna tell you guys, for the first time really, when you sent me the screenshot where I saw there was an alarm, right? I thought it was a fake account because he was so consistent and it was just, it was so uplifting. I saw the alarm that you had set in your phone, and just the type of person I am, I'm a very respectful person, and I got that from you as well, like stand-up guy, man of integrity. And I knew that if you were committing to my lives to be there at a certain time in every call, I automatically knew that Aaliyah and your family was a part of that commitment and that support, because you are a unit. And so I've always just been so grateful for just you guys trusting me to be a part of your lives in that way. And I thank you so much for you sharing part of your life, basically, your time, your commitment, and everything to support Bricklayers. We all appreciate you so much. Thank you for finally coming on stage. This will not be the last time. We look forward to hearing from you more.
I gotta put my mask on, Leah, maybe. This is awesome.
Look, one more thing, since we didn't have any questions in the Q&A, but I'm gonna ask a question. So as an aspired speaker, or as a speaker, can you give me or any other speakers in the community just some tips on how to be completely natural on camera, how you structured your speech? I know you gave us a little bit of insight, but what would you say to a speaker who hasn't found that comfort zone just yet to be able to fluently deliver the way you did?
So, all right, one trick, right? When you're speaking, see what y'all don't see right now is there's like something holding up a light right here, and then I got a timer right here, and then I got like a camera right here, and then I got like something right here, and then I got tone behind me. And what happens is you'll find out that there's other people involved. You know, when we're doing these conferences, and from the last conference, me and all the others that was working behind the scenes, we were constantly communicating and constantly telling Jaymie, hey, this or do that. And so you have an actual support system, but you don't think you have one because when you first start speaking, it's just you, which means you just have to be your own support system. So maybe you set your own timer, maybe you record yourself. But I also have Tone in the background saying, I'm the reason why you sound so good. So you don't see Tone on camera, but Tone is saying, hey, Studio Abroad is the reason why, and all this tough guy stuff. That's what he's saying in the background. But all jokes aside, I'm looking at you guys and I see Tone behind me and he'll say, hey, speak up or lower your voice or do this or do that. Now, everybody can't have that. So how do you be able to accomplish that effect? Well, you have to speak with emotion. You got to speak with your heart. How do you speak with your heart? You don't go talking about things you don't know. This whole conference was about behind the scenes breaks. I didn't talk about anything other than the things that I knew about. I didn't talk about anything other than who I was and what was true to me. And regardless of what the topic is, the topic could have been the best way to paint. I don't have to talk about painting. I have to talk about what I'm good at and find a way to make it make sense for painting. So that way we can bridge the gap between the people who think like I am and the painters, so that way we can work together. So the whole time I'm talking, I did nothing but share with you my story. I was that bricklayer that got all the F's in school while all of his sisters got all A's. So all I did was simply share with you who I was, what I was, and what was going on with me. And we made it make sense for the conference and for the mission and for the bricks that are behind me. And that's all you have to do. So regardless of what anybody is asking, matter of fact, go into the group chat for the Bricklayers group chat and say, hey, somebody give me something to talk about, and then let another bricklayer give you something. And they'll say strawberries. How can you make strawberries make sense to whatever it is that you're naturally good at, whatever it is that you naturally do? And you figure out how to just bring you to the table, and you never lose that way. And you're going to be able to speak with passion. You're going to be able to speak with excitement. You're going to be able to be a better speaker because you're always telling the truth and who you are. And then eventually you figure out how to tell a joke, and eventually you'll figure out how to bring the mood down and make people sad with the story, and you'll figure out how to uplift them. I mean, my mentor told me that the first time he did a presentation, he said when he stood up to talk, his mind sat back down. And so then he said, once he finally got to the point where he can actually talk, he thought he'd get fancy. And so he stepped out from behind the podium. And once he stepped out from behind the podium, he said, how do I get back? So I think the real key here is to understand that you're not perfect. Be authentic, be who you are. We're in a different world now. Fortune 500 used to rule and run everything. But now it's no more. Now people are starting to wake up and people are understanding, hey, if I want to give my time to you, if I want to give my support to you, because even if they say they want to give their money came in the form of giving away time. So they're still giving their time to you. So therefore, in order for this to happen, what you got to do is just be honest and be truthful with people. Regardless of what you're talking about, they'll love it. I mean, you're sitting here talking to somebody who's a custodian, AKA a janitor, and the person who helped put the speech together was a gentleman who was homeless. Be true to who you are and just tell the truth and people will love it.
Sam, thank you so much. That was a lot. We are looking forward to that several books. Forward to supporting you in your speaking career and your coaching career. Looking forward to supporting Diamond Line Results. We appreciate you to no end. Tone, I know you can hear me. We appreciate you. You're not going to...
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.